With this shear cut, we're going to be trimming off some length, however, not enough to make it too short, still enough for him to style it as he wishes. So what I started with was creating my first guideline, my reference point. This will help me determine how much hair to cut off when it comes to the left side of his head and the right side of his head. I call this a moving guideline only because as I'm going around the head, I'm moving from one section to the other section to another section. But always, before I take off any hair, I make sure that I can see where it's short from the previous section. So what I'm essentially doing is combing out the new section, but also taking some hair from the previous section in order to determine how short to go. As you can see here, I'm doing this little by little. I'm not taking too much of a big section, just enough so that I can see that I am cutting exactly what needs to be cut. Alright, now that we've completed from the center to the left, now we move on from the center to the right. We're repeating the same exact steps essentially in order to achieve an even amount of hair getting trimmed off from left to right and right to left. Alright, now that we have most of the center bottom portion of his hair trimmed, now we're moving on to the crown of his hair. So in order to determine the area that we're working on right now, just imagine putting a crown on your head or someone else's head. The bottom of that crown is essentially the crown of your head. So for this portion, we're taking little sections because the bottom section is already cut. So all we're doing is matching what's the bottom to the top to the bottom. And of course, as the time goes on and as we're cutting, we want to make sure we're combing through the hair, combing it down to see where we are. And from here, if you need to remist it with some water, of course you must do that in order to make sure that it's manageable. And as you can see, combing through the hair will help me determine like, all right, I gotta cut a little bit more right here. So this is where using my reference point for the beginning of the haircut is important because it'll help me determine how much hair to leave on and how much hair that I need to still trim off. Lifting the hair up to see how it lays. This will help me determine if I need to trim any more ends or any more sections to match the first initial guideline. So from here, after I determine a little bit more of trimming here and there and seeing how the hair lays, I can start to get ready to move on to the other portions of this haircut, which would be the top section as well as the side section. So check out those other two videos because this is part 1 and it is over. Thanks for watching.